Hello, loves. Welcome to History in the Raw, Episode 1. From Ivan the Wonderful to Ivan the Terrible. Hi, everyone. I'm your Sonoran Desert Siren, and this is History in the Raw. The year is 1547. At just 16 years old, Ivan Vasanovich became the first ruler in Russian history to officially crown himself Tsar of all of Russia. The very first Tsar. Technically, he had been Grand Prince of Moscow since his father's death when he was 3 years old. But at 16, he took the bold step of creating a brand new title for himself, the Tsar of all the Russias. Soon thereafter, he married a 16-year-old girl named Anastasia Romanovich. They were blissfully in love. For the first 13 years, Anastasia was his everything. She brought him closer to God. Under her loving influence, Ivan built churches, reformed the laws, created Russia's first standing army, and did something remarkable. He allowed common people to come before him and speak to him directly. Those 13 years were the golden chapter in his life. The Russian people loved him. Some even called him Ivan the Wonderful and thought of him as their great father. Then after those 13 years of marriage, Anastasia died. And something inside Ivan broke completely. Many historians believe she was poisoned, that close nobles were jealous of her influence over him, and they wanted her gone. When she passed, grief and paranoia took over Ivan's shattered heart. The light she had brought into his life was extinguished, and the darkness rushed in. After her death, Ivan created a secret police force known as the Oprichnika, men dressed in black, who answered only to Ivan. They used to run around with severed dog heads and brooms strapped to their saddles, symbols that they would sniff out corruption and sweep it away. If Ivan even suspected a village or a single nobleman of treason, the Oprichnina would ride in and burn the entire place to the ground. No trial, no mercy, just fire and death. He used to impale people on stakes, warnings to all to fear him. He married 6 or 7 more times after Anastasia, but none of those women could give him back the peace or the faith in God that she had brought to him. Almost all of them ended badly, discarded, forced into convents, or dead under very suspicious circumstances, drowned, poisoned, strangled. The final tragedy came in 1581, when Ivan Sr. flew into a rage fit and began violently attacking his pregnant daughter-in-law for dressing immodestly. When his eldest son tried to defend his wife, at that moment of uncontrollable fury, Ivan struck his own son in the head with his iron-tipped staff, killing him 2 days later from his injuries. Ivan believed that the more terrible he became, the more tightly he could control Russia. But the opposite happened. As his cruelty and paranoia grew, so did the hatred of his own people towards him. 1584, while sitting in his bed playing chess in Moscow, Ivan suffered a massive stroke. He collapsed and died right there at the chessboard, a broken, lonely, and feared man. After his death, the throne passed to his son, Fyodor, his only remaining child of 6, all from Anastasia. Poor Fyodor. He was weak and sickly. Fyodor was unable to hold the throne. And when he died, childless, in 1598, the ancient Rurik dynasty came to an end. and Russia plunged into a chaotic time of famine, civil war, and foreign invasion known as the Time of Troubles. That brings us to the end of episode 1. Next up is episode 2, Latin Serial Killer Kings. The shock and true story of the true most prolific serial killers in modern history. That's right, they weren't white American male, they were Colombian, both of them. And if you want the full uncensored raw version of this episode with a more personal version, join me in my OnlyFans page. You can find me there as the Sonoran Desert Siren. I'm your Sonoran Desert Siren, and I'll see you there.